The vast emptiness of space stretched endlessly beyond the observation deck of the UES Nightborne. Stars shimmered like distant jewels, indifferent to the tension aboard humanity's most advanced battleship. It was a quiet patrol in the outer sector of the Sol Alliance's territory, a region thought to be stable, yet the crew could feel an undercurrent of anticipation. Every human aboard knew the rumors, whispers of a growing alien coalition moving against humanity, threats that had long been dismissed by other species as mere propaganda. But humans had always been cautious, and caution had saved them before. Commander Liana Graves stood with her arms folded, her gaze fixed on the holographic star map projecting the sector's expanse. She was a veteran of countless maneuvers and small-scale skirmishes, yet even she felt a subtle unease today. "Sensors are picking up unusual transmissions," reported Lieutenant Ray Mai Chen, the ship's communications officer. His fingers danced across the console as alien signals flickered across the interface. "They're unlike anything we've intercepted before, encrypted, fast, and repeating at irregular intervals." Graves narrowed her eyes. "Patch them through for analysis. Let's see if we can't predict what they're planning." The crew moved with practiced efficiency, a testament to human training and ingenuity. Young ensigns, barely old enough to have seen the colonies firsthand, worked alongside seasoned officers. Together, they analyzed every data point, ran simulations, and tested strategies against theoretical alien maneuvers. The UES Nightborne itself was a marvel of human engineering, sleek, fast, and armed with the latest in adaptive shielding and multi-vector weapon systems. Every feature was designed to give humans an edge in a galaxy that often underestimated them. In the mess hall, technicians and engineers discussed the rumors in hushed tones. "Do you think they'll really attack us?" asked Ensign Kara Malik, a bright-eyed communications specialist. "Does it matter?" replied Petty Officer Jaron Holt with a grin. "If they do, humanity's ready. We've been waiting for this moment and we don't lose." His confidence wasn't arrogance. It was the quiet certainty that came from decades of surviving the odds, outsmarting foes, and turning impossible situations into victories. Above all, the humans aboard the Nightborne shared something their adversaries could not predict: creativity and adaptability. Aliens might rely on rigid formations, automated tactics, or sheer firepower, but humans thought differently. They could improvise in ways no computer or alien instinct could anticipate. Every drill, every training exercise was designed not just to prepare for war, but to turn uncertainty into advantage. As the ship glided silently past asteroid clusters and the shadows of distant gas giants, an alert flashed on the tactical display. Graves moved swiftly to the command console. "What is it?" she asked. "Movement in the outer perimeter," reported Lieutenant Chen. "Small craft, rapid approach vectors, unidentifiable. Could be scouts, could be a probe. They're fast, faster than anything we've seen in this sector." The bridge fell silent. Every officer understood the stakes. Humanity had achieved remarkable advances in propulsion and defense, but the galaxy was vast, and unknown adversaries were always a threat. Yet there was no panic. Only focus, discipline, and the quiet hum of a ship poised to unleash its full potential. Graves pressed a series of commands. The Nightborne shifted course, sensors extending to maximum range. "Prepare all systems," she ordered. "Weapons on standby, shields to adaptive mode. Let's see who's testing us." As the distant objects drew nearer, the crew prepared for the first real challenge of this new conflict. Humanity had always been underestimated, dismissed by older, more experienced civilizations. Yet here they were, aboard a ship designed not just to survive, but to triumph. Every mind aboard was alert, every system ready. In the cold, dark silence of space, humans waited, not with fear, but with anticipation. They had trained for this moment, and they were ready to show the galaxy why humanity was a force unlike any other. Somewhere beyond the stars, an alien presence approached, unaware of the storm that was about to descend upon them. And humanity, patient and precise, would not be caught unprepared. The calm before battle was over. The calm of space shattered like glass as an alarm blared across the UES Nightborne. Red lights pulsed on every console, casting shadows across the focused faces of the crew. Commander Liana Graves rose from her seat, her mind instantly moving into action. "Status report," she demanded. Lieutenant Chen's fingers flew over the console. "Multiple contacts entering the sector, Commander. Alien vessels, small, agile, and heavily armed, attacking the outpost Delta colony. Civilian transmissions indicate widespread panic. They're striking without warning. Graves's jaw tightened. The humans aboard the Nightborne had always prepared for this possibility, yet nothing could dull the shock of seeing an unprovoked attack unfold. Helm, set course for Delta Colony, maximum warp. The ship shuddered as engines roared, propelling them toward the burning world. The crew worked like a single organism, each movement precise, each decision calculated. Engineers rerouted power to shields and weapon systems. Tactical officers deployed drones to relay live imagery of the alien attack. Humans did not panic. They never panicked. As the Nightborne emerged from warp, the viewports revealed a scene of devastation. Alien strike craft swarmed over the colony's orbit, firing energy beams that shredded buildings and sent evacuation pods spiraling into space. Small civilian vessels were caught in crossfire, their occupants screaming through static-laden comms channels. Graves's voice cut through the chaos. "Target the lead ships, don't waste shots, precision strikes only." Lieutenant Eric Duran, tactical officer, nodded. "Copy that, Commander, calculating firing solutions." The Nightborne responded with deadly efficiency. Advanced plasma cannons launched in synchronized volleys, striking alien vessels before they could retreat. Adaptive shields absorbed enemy fire while countermeasures confused incoming missiles. Humans fought not just with technology, but with instinct, creativity, and teamwork. Every crew member anticipated moves and adapted instantly. The aliens, expecting fear and disorganization, were unprepared for the humans' coordinated response. The lead alien ships faltered, their formations breaking under precise attacks. Drones deployed by the Nightborne intercepted communications, feeding back critical tactical information in real time. Each strike by humanity was calculated, each maneuver improvised to exploit the enemy's weaknesses. On the colony's surface, survivors watched the UES Nightborne engage the attackers. Children and elders who had moments ago fled in terror now stared in awe as humanity's power revealed itself. Humans were outnumbered, yet they moved with clarity, bravery, and precision. Even the aliens began to realize they had underestimated their opponent. Petty Officer Jaron Holt, manning one of the weapon consoles, grinned as a squadron of alien fighters exploded in a brilliant flash. "Looks like they didn't expect us to fight back this fast." Graves allowed herself a moment to observe the battlefield. It was not only about destruction, it was about protection, strategy, and adaptability. Humanity fought not just to win, but to safeguard the innocent, to demonstrate that ingenuity and courage could turn the tide of any battle. The battle raged for minutes that felt like hours. Aliens attempted evasive maneuvers, but humans anticipated every pattern. Plasma rams and precision torpedoes cut through the enemy lines, while adaptive shields absorbed and reflected hostile energy. Every loss the humans inflicted was a lesson learned. Every move of the aliens a new opportunity exploited. Finally, the alien fleet began to retreat. Smaller ships escaped, but the majority had been neutralized or forced into a chaotic withdrawal. Outpost Delta Colony, though damaged, survived thanks to humanity's intervention. Communications resumed with the survivors, their voices trembling with relief and gratitude. Graves allowed herself a quiet breath. "Report," she said. Lieutenant Chen's voice was steady. "Outpost casualties are minimized. Alien strike force is retreating. Humanity's response exceeded expectations. We've sent a clear message. Attack us without warning and you will face consequences." The crew shared a brief moment of triumph. It was a victory, but not a celebration. The war had only just begun, and the UES Nightborne had shown the galaxy a fundamental truth. Humanity did not back down, and when provoked, their ingenuity and courage made them an unstoppable force. As the ship adjusted its course back to orbit, Graves reflected on what had just occurred. Humans were no longer observers in this conflict. They were participants, innovators, and warriors. The aliens had burned without warning, but humanity had risen, precise and unyielding, ready to unleash even greater power in the battles to come. And somewhere in the distance, alien commanders began to rethink their assumptions. Humanity had arrived, humanity had fought, and humanity would not be ignored. The Nightborne glided silently through space, but silence was deceptive. Every crew member knew that the battle at Delta Colony was only the beginning. Alien forces would regroup, and humanity had to be ready. Commander Liana Graves leaned over the tactical console, studying the data flowing in from multiple sensors. The aliens had underestimated humanity once. They would not make that mistake twice. "Lieutenant Duran, plot a counteroffensive," Graves commanded. "I want every weak point identified, supply lines, communication arrays, command vessels. We strike fast and hit where it hurts the most." Duran's fingers flew across the holographic display, running simulations and calculating probabilities. Unlike alien forces that relied on rigid formations and predictable strategies, humans thrived on adaptability. They could think in real time, adjust mid-battle, and exploit the enemy's assumptions. The Nightborne's crew was about to demonstrate exactly why. The first target was an alien supply convoy traveling near a cluster of asteroid fields. The aliens assumed it was safe, protected by sheer numbers and automated defenses. Humans saw opportunity. Using the asteroid fields as cover, the Nightborne deployed stealth drones equipped with EMP pulses to disable the convoy's shields and navigation systems. Within minutes, the alien supply ships were immobilized. "Open fire," Graves ordered. Torpedoes lanced out of the Nightborne, striking with surgical precision. The convoy erupted in a controlled chain reaction, leaving no chance for the enemy to regroup. In the enemy's command ships, chaos spread. Alien leaders had never encountered a species that could anticipate their moves, adapt instantaneously, and exploit gaps in real time. Their communications were disrupted by drones intercepting and feeding false information. Every attempt to retaliate was countered by human ingenuity. On board the Nightborne, engineers worked tirelessly to maintain and optimize weapon systems, shifting energy between shields, lasers, and propulsion as the battle unfolded. "Power redistribution complete," said Chief Engineer Selene Torres. "Shields at maximum, plasma cannons fully charged. We're ready for the next wave." The aliens, frustrated and confused, attempted a direct assault on the human vessel. Squadrons of fighters swarmed toward the Nightborne, expecting to overwhelm it with numbers. But humans had prepared for that scenario. Automated intercept drones, guided by human officers, struck with precision, dismantling incoming ships before they could breach the Nightborne's perimeter. Petty Officer Jaron Holt cheered as a fighter exploded against the backdrop of distant stars. "They didn't expect that, did they?" he said with a grin. "No," Graves replied calmly. "And they never will, not if we keep thinking faster, adapting smarter, and working together." The Nightborne then executed a daring maneuver, a multi-vector attack that split the alien formation. Plasma rams tore through the outer layers of the enemy fleet, while adaptive torpedoes targeted command vessels. Aliens had technology, yes, but humans had creativity, courage, and the willingness to take calculated risks. By the time the battle ended, the alien force was in retreat. Their ships scattered, systems damaged, and morale shattered. Human losses were minimal, a testament to preparation, coordination, and foresight. Communications from other colonies began to arrive, expressing astonishment at the Nightborne's victories. Humanity had proven that even against advanced alien technology, ingenuity and teamwork could tip the scales. Graves surveyed the tactical display one last time. "Prepare a report for the Alliance Council," she said. "They need to understand what we just accomplished. Humanity has not only defended itself but demonstrated that we can dictate the terms of engagement." In the crew mess, celebrations were quiet but heartfelt. Engineers, officers, and tactical specialists shared nods and smiles, proud of their success but fully aware the war was far from over. This battle had revealed something fundamental. Humans did not fight like any other species in the galaxy. They combined intellect, creativity, and adaptability in ways that no enemy could predict. As the Nightborne set a course for the next sector, Graves reflected on the day's events. Humans had turned the tide once before in countless skirmishes, and now the galaxy was starting to take notice. They had destroyed the alien supply convoy, protected their colonies, and demonstrated their tactical brilliance. The message was clear. Humanity was not to be underestimated. Far beyond the reaches of human sensors, alien commanders began to reconsider their strategy. They had assumed humans would be easy prey, but they had been wrong. Every move of the Nightborne, every innovation in the heat of battle, revealed the truth. Humanity was cunning, resilient, and capable of overcoming even the most advanced adversaries. The war had entered a new phase, one in which humans would no longer react, they would shape the battlefield, and the galaxy would soon learn the full measure of human tactical brilliance. The galaxy had taken notice. Humanity's swift victories had sent ripples through alien empires that once considered humans insignificant. The UES Nightborne patrolled the edge of human-controlled space, but the crew knew that war was no longer simply about defending colonies. It was about influence, alliances, and demonstrating that humanity could stand as an equal among the stars. Commander Liana Graves studied a stream of incoming communications. Ambassadors and envoys from neutral species requested meetings, curious and cautious. They had watched the Delta colony battle and the destruction of the alien supply convoy, and the same question lingered across the sector. Could humanity be trusted or feared? "Prepare a transmission to the Zorathi delegation," Graves ordered. The Zorathi were a pragmatic species known for aligning with the stronger power. "We'll meet them in orbit above Vespera Prime. Diplomatic but firm, they need to understand we are organized, capable, and intelligent. That is our advantage." Lieutenant Chen looked up from his console. "Sir, there's chatter among the enemy coalition. They're reorganizing. Some factions are questioning leadership. Others want to strike immediately. Humanity is becoming a concern to them." Graves nodded. "Then we must show both strength and strategy. Victory in battle is only part of the equation. Convince the galaxy that we are deliberate, adaptable, and impossible to predict." The Nightborne altered course, entering Vespera Prime's orbit. The planet below was a jewel of turquoise oceans and silver deserts, a neutral world chosen for its central location and strong diplomatic presence. As the Nightborne descended, alien delegates arrived in sleek vessels, cautiously approaching the human flagship. The bridge was quiet as the envoys docked. Humans and aliens faced one another for the first time without weapons drawn, yet tension filled the air. Graves stepped forward to greet the delegation, her voice calm but commanding. "We appreciate your willingness to meet. The galaxy is changing, and we believe cooperation will benefit all parties, but we will not hesitate to protect our own." The Zorathi leader tilted his head, a gesture that conveyed both curiosity and suspicion. "Your people fight with unusual precision and creativity. You adapt in ways no one has anticipated. Why should we join you rather than wait and see if your victories are temporary?" Graves smiled slightly. "Because humanity does not wait. We learn, we adapt, and we innovate. Our victories are the result of planning, foresight, and a willingness to act decisively. Those are qualities any ally or enemy must respect." Meanwhile, in orbit beyond the meeting, alien coalition leaders debated. Some advocated attacking humanity before alliances could form, but others warned against rash actions. The memory of the Delta colony strike and the lost supply convoy lingered in their minds. Humans did not respond as expected. They improvised, they strategized, and they inflicted losses without hesitation. Back aboard the Nightborne, Graves monitored the diplomatic exchanges while maintaining full readiness. Humans had learned long ago that words and deeds must complement each other. Diplomacy could secure allies, but strength ensured survival. She authorized tactical simulations, preparing for any sudden betrayal or attack. The crew worked efficiently, switching between diplomacy and combat readiness with the seamless precision of a species trained to do both. Hours passed in strategic discussion and negotiation. The Zorathi delegation recognized the value of allying with humanity, both as a shield and a partner. By the time the meeting concluded, preliminary agreements were in place. Neutral species pledged intelligence support, shared supply routes, and offered fleet reinforcements if humanity faced overwhelming opposition. As the delegates departed, Graves allowed herself a moment of reflection. Humanity had achieved something remarkable. They had fought fiercely, defended their colonies, and now began to shape the political landscape of the galaxy. Alien assumptions had been shattered. Humans were no longer merely a faction to be watched. They were a force capable of influencing the balance of power. Lieutenant Duran approached her console. "Commander, reports indicate the enemy coalition is moving. They know humans have allies now. Some are reluctant to engage directly, but others are preparing for a strike. They've underestimated us for the last time." Graves set her jaw. "Then we will be ready. Our strength is more than weapons. It is intelligence, adaptability, and unity. The galaxy will learn that humanity fights with more than firepower. We fight with ingenuity, with strategy, and with purpose." The Nightborne adjusted its orbit, sensors sweeping the nearby star systems. Human ingenuity had forged both victory and alliances, turning observers into partners. But the shadows of war remained, and the alien coalition was regrouping, driven by a mixture of fear and pride. Humanity was rising, and the galaxy could no longer ignore them. Somewhere in the distance, alien commanders debated strategy, unaware that every decision they made was now anticipated, challenged, and countered by humans who refused to yield. Humanity's moment had come, and with it, the tide of the war was beginning to shift irreversibly. The galaxy had learned to watch humanity, but few could have predicted the scope of their next move. The UES Nightborne led a small fleet toward the outer perimeter of the alien coalition's territory. Commander Liana Graves paced the bridge, eyes sharp, mind sharper. This was no defensive operation. It was a calculated strike, a demonstration that humans did not merely react to threats. They shaped the battlefield. Lieutenant Duran studied the holographic map of enemy space. Supply lines identified, command posts mapped. If we hit here, here, and here, he pointed at several key points, we can disrupt their operations for months, maybe longer. Graves nodded. And we will. Precision, efficiency, and adaptability, exactly what humans do best. Prepare all systems. We go in with speed and surprise. The Nightborne slipped through a network of asteroid belts, the natural cover masking their approach. Alien scouts, fast and numerous, patrolled the sector, but they had been counting on predictable human tactics. Humans had never been predictable. Adaptive cloaking and sensor jammers allowed the Nightborne to move like a shadow, invisible until it struck. As they approached the first supply station, human drones detached from the main ship, weaving through debris fields to silently disable shields and communications. Within moments, the station's defenses were offline. Graves gave the order, "Open fire." Plasma torpedoes streaked through space, hitting the station with surgical precision. Explosions blossomed in the void, but casualties were minimized. Humans fought to neutralize threats, not to create unnecessary destruction. Petty Officer Jaron Holt monitored the strikes with a grin. They're not expecting this. Every move we make is a lesson they didn't anticipate. Duran's tactical console flashed. Incoming response force. Enemy fighters en route from nearby sectors. They'll reach us in 10 minutes. Graves considered the data and then smiled. Good, let them come. We'll teach them another lesson. The alien fighters emerged, sleek and aggressive, confident in their numerical advantage. Yet humans met them with unconventional strategies. Drones guided torpedoes from multiple vectors, splitting the enemy formation. Adaptive shields absorbed and redirected energy blasts. Every maneuver was calculated yet flexible, combining pre-planned strategy with real-time improvisation. For every fighter that attacked, a countermeasure neutralized it before it could close the distance. The aliens had relied on rigidity and raw power. Humans relied on creativity, adaptability, and cohesion. Within minutes, the enemy formation fractured. Ships collided or retreated, their morale faltering as the humans struck with relentless precision. Meanwhile, the Nightborne moved deeper into enemy territory. Command posts and relay stations, thought to be secure, fell under the humans' ingenuity. Engineers repurposed captured alien technology on the fly, creating feedback loops that disrupted communications across multiple sectors. Every act of sabotage was measured, efficient, and deadly effective. As the battle unfolded, the humans' reputation grew. News of the Nightborne's operations reached neutral colonies, who watched in awe and disbelief. Humans were not merely defending themselves, they were reshaping the war, striking where others dared not tread. Allies began sending reinforcements and intelligence, inspired by humanity's boldness and precision. Graves stood on the bridge, observing the controlled chaos. "Humanity does not retreat," she said. "We do not hesitate. Every obstacle is an opportunity, every attack a chance to innovate. That is what sets us apart." By the end of the day, the Nightborne had neutralized critical supply routes, disabled multiple enemy stations, and demonstrated that humans could project power beyond their borders. Alien forces were stunned, not by technology alone, but by human determination, strategy, and unyielding courage. In the aftermath, the fleet regrouped at a nearby neutral station. Engineers repaired damage while tactical officers analyzed the day's operations. Each crew member understood the significance of their actions. Humans had seized the initiative, forcing the alien coalition onto the defensive for the first time. Lieutenant Chen reported incoming transmissions from other colonies, requesting coordination and alliance support. "They want to join us, Commander. They see what humanity can accomplish and want to be part of it." Graves nodded. "Then we continue forward. We fight not only with weapons but with example. Humanity leads because we are relentless, adaptable, and united. The galaxy will remember this day." As the Nightborne prepared for its next operation, the alien coalition faced a harsh reality. Humans were no longer predictable. They did not react. They struck, innovated, and shaped the course of war. Every engagement revealed a truth that no alien leader could ignore. Humanity was a force to be respected, feared, and anticipated. The tide of the conflict had shifted, and the galaxy's perception of humanity was changing forever. What began as defense had become offense, and the humans aboard the Nightborne were proving that their ingenuity, courage, and determination could alter the balance of power among the stars. The UES Nightborne entered orbit above the human colony of Arcadia Prime, the jewel of humanity's outer territories. Below, sprawling cities and orbital platforms glittered against the planet's oceans and forests, a reminder of what humans fought to protect. Sensors picked up the approaching alien fleet, far larger than any force humanity had faced in open combat. Yet the crew remained calm, their confidence rooted in preparation, strategy, and the unpredictability that made humans so dangerous. Commander Liana Graves stood on the bridge, her eyes scanning the vast array of ships on the tactical display. "They've committed everything they have," she said. "Numbers may be against us, but we have ingenuity, precision, and coordination. That is how humans win." Lieutenant Duran's fingers danced across the holographic interface. "We've calculated optimal engagement vectors, Commander. We can split their fleet into smaller pockets, forcing them to fight on our terms." Graves nodded. "Then we strike, all systems active, shields at maximum, drones deployed for reconnaissance and disruption." The alien fleet advanced, confident in its numerical advantage. Energy beams streaked across the void, and warships bristled with weapons. Yet every move the aliens made was anticipated, countered, or exploited by humans. Adaptive shields absorbed and redirected attacks, while human engineers modified drones mid-battle to jam communications and disrupt targeting systems. Petty Officer Jaron Holt's grin widened as he maneuvered his plasma turret. "They don't know what's coming. Every angle we control is another lesson they'll remember." The Nightborne executed a daring maneuver, slicing through the outermost enemy formations. Plasma rams tore through alien destroyers while precision torpedoes targeted command vessels. The aliens relied on rigid formations, expecting humans to follow predictable patterns. Instead, humans adapted instantly, improvising new strategies in response to each unexpected move. In orbit above Arcadia Prime, civilians watched from secure observation platforms. Children, students, and colonists who had once feared alien attacks now saw humanity's brilliance in action. Humans were outnumbered, yet coordinated, fearless, and resourceful. The battle unfolded like a symphony, each movement calculated, yet flexible, combining intellect, courage, and creativity. Lieutenant Chen monitored the enemy's comms, feeding false signals through human interference networks. Alien commanders struggled to adapt, their confidence giving way to confusion. Orders conflicted with reality, and factions of their fleet broke formation, leaving themselves vulnerable to surgical strikes. Graves gave the order to divide and conquer. The Nightborne's drones executed complex maneuvers, cutting off retreat paths and isolating enemy ships. Smaller human strike teams harassed alien flankers, exploiting every weakness with precision. Every engagement reinforced the fundamental truth. Humans did not fight with brute force alone. They fought with strategy, adaptability, and unity. Hours passed in a blur of explosions, evasive maneuvers, and rapid-fire decision-making. Alien ships burned, systems failed, and morale crumbled. Human casualties were minimal, a testament to both technology and careful planning. Engineers rerouted power on the fly, shields absorbed impossible hits, and weapon systems delivered devastating counterattacks. Finally, the alien vanguard began to retreat. Command ships, crippled by coordinated strikes and relentless ingenuity, signaled withdrawal. The Nightborne pursued selectively, ensuring enemy forces could not regroup quickly while preserving human resources. In the aftermath, the crew allowed themselves brief relief. Arcadia Prime remained intact, its orbit secure. Humans had faced overwhelming odds and turned them into opportunity. They had not merely defended territory, they had demonstrated to the galaxy that humans could outthink, outmaneuver, and outfight forces far larger than themselves. Graves stood on the bridge looking at the star-strewn void. "This is the proof," she said quietly. "Numbers alone do not win wars. Ingenuity, courage, and unity do. That is what makes humanity powerful." Lieutenant Duran nodded. "Enemy reports indicate confusion across their fleet. Some commanders are calling for ceasefire. Others are retreating entirely. They've never faced an opponent like us." Petty Officer Holt laughed softly. "They'll remember the name Nightborne for a long time." Graves allowed herself a brief smile, knowing this was only one victory in a much larger conflict. Humanity had proven its strength, but the galaxy was vast and other challenges awaited. Yet the principle was clear. Humans were unpredictable, innovative, and relentless. Even outnumbered, they could achieve the impossible. The Nightborne adjusted course to monitor retreating forces, ensuring they could not threaten Arcadia Prime again. Sensors scanned the horizon for further threats, every officer alert yet composed. Humanity had claimed this battle, but the war was far from over. Still, one truth had been made evident to every corner of the galaxy. When humans fought, even the greatest of odds could be overcome. The galaxy had witnessed humanity's victories, and the ripple effects were undeniable. Across multiple star systems, human colonies coordinated with allied species, sending fleets, resources, and intelligence to the front lines. The UES Nightborne led the charge, a symbol of human ingenuity, resilience, and tactical brilliance. Commander Liana Graves observed the bustling bridge, the hum of the ship alive with purpose. Humanity was no longer merely defending itself. They were shaping the war on their terms. Lieutenant Duran analyzed incoming intelligence from allied systems. "Enemy morale is deteriorating. They underestimated us at every turn. Now some factions are seeking terms, others hesitate to engage. They've begun to see humanity as a dominant force." Graves nodded. "We fight with strength, yes, but also with example. Allies must see our courage, adaptability, and precision. That is what inspires cooperation and what discourages aggression." The Nightborne's fleet prepared for a strategic push into contested sectors. Humans had learned the value of innovation in every battle, and they applied it relentlessly. Engineers adapted captured alien technology, converting enemy defenses into tools for human advantage. Pilots trained in improvisation executed maneuvers no alien could predict. Tacticians exploited intelligence networks to anticipate every move, turning what seemed impossible into opportunity. In the first engagement of the campaign, the Nightborne led a strike against a lightly defended alien outpost. Drones disabled communications while plasma cannons destroyed key installations. The attack was precise, swift, and merciful. Humans eliminated threats without unnecessary destruction. Alien forces scrambled to respond, but human ingenuity turned every defensive measure into a liability. Petty Officer Jaron Holt grinned as he observed enemy vessels faltering. "They keep trying the same tricks," he said, "and we keep countering them in ways they can't predict. This never gets old." Graves allowed herself a brief smile. "That's the point. Humans adapt. We learn faster, improvise smarter, and strike with purpose." Beyond mere combat, humans also strengthened diplomacy. Neutral species, impressed by the Nightborne's successes, formally allied with humanity. Intelligence sharing improved, supply routes became more efficient, and colonies coordinated defenses with unprecedented speed. Humanity was not only a military power but a unifying force in the sector, turning former observers into participants in the war effort. The next major engagement saw the Nightborne's fleet facing a retreating alien armada attempting to regroup. Outnumbered in sheer numbers, humans relied on strategy rather than brute force. Using multi-vector attacks, they split enemy formations, isolating smaller groups for precise strikes. Adaptive shields and coordinated drone swarms minimized human losses while maximizing disruption. The aliens, expecting conventional tactics, were unprepared for the combination of ingenuity, teamwork, and courage they faced. After the battle, reports flooded in from allied systems. Civilian colonies celebrated human-led victories, survivors hailed the defenders, and alien factions reconsidered their strategies. Humans were proving that even when outnumbered, creativity, resilience, and courage could redefine the outcome of any conflict. Graves reflected on the events. Humanity had become a force feared, respected, and admired. Their power was not just in weapons or numbers, but in their ability to think, adapt, and act decisively. Allies had rallied, enemies had faltered, and the galaxy had learned a fundamental truth. Humans do not back down, and when pushed, they rise to heights no one could anticipate. In the Nightborne's observation deck, crew members watched the stars. Children on distant colonies looked up, inspired by stories of courage and innovation. Scientists and engineers back on home worlds worked tirelessly, knowing that every new idea could tip the balance in humanity's favor. The war had revealed human potential, and it was limitless. Lieutenant Chen reported, "Commander, enemy movements are slowing. Some fleets are disbanding. Communications indicate factions are hesitant to engage. Humanity's reputation alone is now shaping their decisions." Graves nodded, her eyes steady. "Then we continue forward. We fight with precision, lead with example, and show the galaxy what humans are capable of. The Nightborne is just the beginning. Humanity has only begun to unleash its full potential." The fleet adjusted course toward the heart of contested space. Humans were no longer merely defending. They were advancing, liberating, and demonstrating their power. Every battle, every maneuver, every alliance strengthened the impression that humanity was a species unlike any other in the galaxy. Innovative, resilient, and unstoppable. The stage was set for the final confrontations. Humanity had proven that intelligence, adaptability, and courage could overcome any odds. The galaxy was taking notice, and for the first time, the enemy realized that the war had shifted irreversibly. Humanity had been unleashed, and nothing would stop them. The galaxy held its breath. After months of decisive strikes, strategic ingenuity, and unyielding courage, humanity stood poised at the threshold of a new era. The UES Nightborne led the final coordinated campaign against the remnants of the alien coalition, its crew battle-hardened, disciplined, and ready for whatever came next. Commander Liana Graves observed the fleet arrayed around her flagship. It was a moment humanity had been preparing for since the first whispers of conflict, a culmination of courage, intelligence, and unity. "Lieutenant Duran, status report," Graves commanded. "All enemy forces are in disarray," Duran replied. "Command structures are fractured, supply lines destroyed, morale is low, and multiple factions are signaling surrender. We have the opportunity to end this conflict without unnecessary bloodshed." Graves nodded. "Then we show them that humanity fights with purpose, not vengeance. We secure peace through strength and strategy, and we do it decisively." The final operation began with a coordinated advance into the central systems of the alien coalition. The Nightborne and its fleet moved with precision, striking key installations, neutralizing remaining warships, and cutting off escape routes. Human drones disrupted communications while adaptive shields protected the fleet from the scattered enemy attacks. Every maneuver was a testament to human ingenuity, fast, creative, and calculated. Alien commanders, once confident in their superiority, scrambled to respond. They had underestimated humans at every stage, and the pattern continued. Every plan they enacted was anticipated, every countermeasure adapted to, every weakness exploited. Humanity's victories were not simply the result of superior firepower. They were the product of adaptability, teamwork, and relentless creativity. As the battle raged, reports came in from neutral systems observing the campaign. Colonies hailed humans as protectors and leaders. Scientists, engineers, and diplomats had supported the war effort with innovations, logistical planning, and strategic alliances. Humanity's triumph was not just in battle. It was in organization, foresight, and the capacity to unite disparate forces under a single purpose. In the middle of the engagement, the Nightborne executed a daring maneuver that would be remembered for generations. A multi-vector assault targeted the coalition's central command ship, the heart of their operations. Plasma rams tore through its defenses, drones infiltrated its systems, and adaptive torpedoes disabled critical engines. The command ship, once the symbol of alien power, was neutralized with precision and efficiency. Petty Officer Jaron Holt watched the explosion ripple across space, a silent testament to human perseverance. "We did it," he whispered. "They never saw it coming." Graves allowed herself a moment of reflection. Victory had not come from sheer force alone. It had come from human traits that no machine or rigid doctrine could replicate. Ingenuity, courage, adaptability, and unity had reshaped the galaxy's balance of power. Humans had proven they could overcome insurmountable odds, outthink adversaries, and protect what mattered most. Within hours, the alien coalition surrendered formally. Peace negotiations began, mediated by humans and their new allies. Humanity emerged not only as victors but as leaders and unifiers. Colonies once threatened by alien aggression now celebrated security and cooperation. Stories of bravery, strategy, and heroism spread across star systems, cementing the legend of the Nightborne and its crew. Graves stood on the observation deck, staring at the stars. "This is what humanity is capable of," she said softly. "We fight not for conquest, but for survival, for progress, and for those who depend on us. The galaxy has seen our strength, and it will never forget it." Lieutenant Chen approached. "Commander, reports from other fleets indicate gratitude and admiration. Humans are now being called upon to guide reconstruction and diplomacy. Our influence has grown far beyond expectations." Graves nodded. "Then we accept that responsibility. Humanity does not seize power blindly. We wield it wisely with foresight and courage. The war has ended, but our work has only begun." The Nightborne and its fleet returned to human space, hailed as heroes. Colonies welcomed their protectors, allies pledged continued cooperation, and former enemies acknowledged humanity's strength. The galaxy had been forever changed, not by domination alone, but by a species willing to fight, think, and lead with intelligence and heart. And so humanity entered a new galactic dawn. They had unleashed their power, safeguarded their worlds, forged alliances, and proven that resilience, innovation, and unity were forces that could not be ignored. The stars themselves seemed to recognize it, a vast stage now open for humans to explore, protect, and inspire. Commander Graves watched the horizon, the Nightborne poised for its next mission. Humanity's story was far from over, but one truth had been firmly established. In a galaxy of uncertainty, humans would rise, adapt, and shape their destiny among the stars.